Disney sucks. Their IPs are losing relevance, their new IPs are not picking up, they have become a laughingstock of the internet. But you know what? Despite all the failures, despite the declining stock prices, despite the IPs they have been relying on for decades are falling apart, every night when Bob Iger goes to bed and tries to relax and watch some YouTube like every CEO does, and is bombarded by the Disney's dead videos that will by no doubt fuel the pockets of the YouTubers for the next decade, when those videos reach him in his weakest moment, when he's about to end it all, he remembers he owns Disney, not Warner Brothers, and then he dunks the average budget of a Marvel movie on a church the following morning. Put yourself in 2023. You just watched Barbie, a movie with the purpose of fueling the conflict between misogynist and misandrist. The writer of the movie said that people should have their own interpretations. So let's listen to her. In the movie, Barbie lives in a world where Barbies control everything, and the Kens are valued as much as NPCs, aka as much value as I give to someone's opinion online. When they travel to the real world of the movie, it's established that it's run by a patriarchy, which to make it simpler, women are second-class citizens. Anyway, this character gets turned into a mouthpiece for every basic bitch on Twitter and expresses how hard it is to be a woman. Ken tries to establish patriarchy, it goes like shit. The most realistic thing that's happened in this movie so far. The matriarchy is restored, but this time, the Kens get some rights. And the movie tells us that the Kens will be as relevant as women in the real world one day, which the movie established are second-class citizens. If I got anything wrong in this summary, feel free to correct me. I am not rewatching the shitty movie for a stupid YouTube video. As the writer of this movie instructed us, I'll come up with my own interpretation. My interpretation is that this movie was only made for misandrists, and that this will be the closest thing to make them happy. As for misogynist, this was rage bait, very obvious rage bait, that will have them fuming on Twitter for decades. Unless, they both just grow the fuck up. As for regular folk, this was an insult to basic intelligence and should have been forgotten about in a month. But what Warner Bros. Did here was clearly profitable. They beat Nintendo. I mean, nobody's done that since the Wii U days. And before that, well, you needed a PlayStation 2 level threat to do that. With this movie, Warner Bros. Sent a message of feminism, a message of empowerment, to let those awful, terrible men that are killing the movie industry by playing video games instead of watching movies that not only are not made for them, but that also blatantly insult and belittle them sometimes. Letting them know that women run Hollywood now, and that they should be respected.
I'm not transgender, non-binary, I don't want to be searched by a man. I'm transgender, non-binary, and I don't want to be searched.
Let's look back, literally 1 month before the Barbie movie released. We got The Flash. The worst thing to ever happen to this fucking character. Yes, worse than the CW writing. This movie was overhyped as fuck. People were talking about this movie like it was the second coming of The Incredibles. I'm sorry, as if it were the first coming of The Incredibles. I can't even call what people were doing to this movie glazing. Nah, this was a Saint Tontus level threat. Anybody who was anybody in Hollywood was turned into the primary residence of the Flash's dick. The bastards just couldn't get it out of their mouths, not even to eat or talk. But there was one man who went far and beyond. One who not only sucked its dick, not only sucked its balls, not only sucked the inconvenient amount of pubic hair, but sucked all that and the movie's whole ass, saying how good it was. And that man was DC's savior, James Gunn. Dude gave the Snyder fans enough kryptonite to last the whole DCU. Dude actually stuck out his reputation for this movie. But let's be serious for a moment. What is the real problem with 2023's The Flash? Well, meet Ezra Miller, who I will be referring to as a man because this guy doesn't deserve respect, and because I don't think there's a single non-binary person who wants to acknowledge this guy as part of their community. Generally because this guy is just a fucking criminal. His spree started in Hawaii involving robbery and assault. He kept a couple hostage by stealing their passport, attacking some customers at a karaoke bar, and after this, videos of choking fans and threatening others to knock them out at a con surfaced. This was a terrible look already, but if it wasn't bad enough, Miller would be accused of grooming a teenager he met at a protest, and not only did he groom her, but he also introduced her to the world of drugs, and continued to indulge her in taking them. Side note, don't take kids to protest. They have literally not finished basic education. There is no way a 12-year-old knows what they're doing at a protest. Later on, Miller would also be investigated for kidnapping a mother and her daughters and keeping them in his weed farm, where he also had loads of firearms. This guy was a criminal and a fucking psycho. So obviously Warner Bros. Fired him immediately. Any company would, especially Warner Brothers. They have a movie coming out that's all about feminism. There's no way we are seeing this guy in Hollywood, let alone California, ever again.
Besides his speed, probably his altruism and his moral compass, his willingness to sacrifice, and some of the key details of a hero. I think he embodies them, really fully.
Not only did Warner not fire his ass instantly, they also had the balls to have him on the red carpet. This feels like a Black Mirror episode. Like, this is what The Boys was parodying in 2019. There's no way Warner Bros. Is this fucking retarded, right?
A lot of people did not see it, but you know how things are these days. People don't see things, but they like to talk shit about it, and they like to jump on bandwagons.
Listen, I understand this movie has the efforts of a lot more people than just Miller, but saying people were hating on it because everybody else was is, quite frankly, kind of out of touch. And while what Andy Muschietti said here does apply in other cases, The Flash is not one of them. Besides the Miller shit, we also had the whole let's use CGI to revive dead actors that were never a part of the DCEU. And let's not even include a real-life actor of The Flash besides the criminal, because this Flash is not even anybody specific, which brings the question of, why didn't they just use that? Blank versions of the character. But back to Warner Brothers, their handling of this movie showed how their true interest behind this movie was. And it's the interest of every movie, making money. It's a big no duh, but this is a PR disaster. The one positive thing I'll say about Disney is that in Jonathan Majors' case, not only did they fire him, but they also waited till he was convicted in court. Warner just said, let's not fire the groomer, let's give him a superhero suit and put him on a movie and tell everybody he's a hero. Fuck, you know what? Let's invite him to the red carpet. It'll be fun. To make matters worse, shortly after Miller was arrested in Hawaii for the initial crimes, Warner decided let's can the Batgirl movie, which is ironic. I don't doubt this movie would have been bad, but it's kind of telling that Warner releases Barbie, a movie all about feminism and how women are belittled in the real world, and then cancels a female-led project, but keeps one with an actual criminal in it. This is why I think the Barbie movie is terrible. It was made and published to be with the political trends of feminism. Warner doesn't believe what their movies are telling you. You, the people giving them money. Now, I don't think a single company is an exception to this. I 100% believe every The Force is Female shirt Disney employees were given was seen as an investment, not a statement. But Warner crossed a line here, and were so money hungry and desperate that they gave a criminal a paycheck and told the world he was a fucking superhero. Now, I don't care if you enjoy The Flash. The film has its positives that I can't see. Barbie is at least funny. I'll give it that. But I think these are terrible movies. I am no one to tell you what to enjoy, but I am one to tell you what I don't enjoy. I hate these movies because it shows, in my opinion, everything wrong with modern movies. Companies lecturing about one thing that they don't believe or respect. They only care about the money. A lot of people are talking about how James Gunn is going to get fired after, Superman failed to make money and the bad reception of the Peacemaker finale. I don't believe that. Granted, I have no idea how the movie industry works, I just know how money works. But Gunn's DCU is the only long-term project that they know won't be an absolute failure. Batman Brave and the Bold fails to make money, or, God forbid, the fucking Justice League movie fails to make money? Yeah, I think he's gone. A Batman movie losing money is the equivalent of a Spider-Man movie not making any money. Anyway, guys, I have been Marvin, host of Part-Time Opinions. This was a bit of a different video, and yes, this was just stalling for my Avengers video. Please consider subscribing. We are very close to 100 subscribers. Also consider my Patreon link in the description, and thank you for watching.